Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason, and for this week's project I'm restoring this 1:66 scale Schuco BMW Turbo. I'll be doing so using a brand new selection of airbrush paints by KALEIDO COLORWORKS from Gallery. In my last airbrush video, they provided me with my very first airbrush and compressor kit, and now they've launched a range of colours which they've asked me to try. I've chosen this Schuco BMW as it is a simple construction, meaning I can spend more time focusing on the paint. So while I prize it apart, let's have a brief summary of the model. It came out in 1973 following the concept car's 1972 launch. It was painted either red or orange, though mine looks to be somewhere between the two. It had a black plastic interior piece and opening gull-wing doors. It was also produced in Brazil for the Miniaturas Rai series in the same colours, with or without Castrol stickers, or in black with a red interior and unusual Golden Eagle BMW Turbo stickers. The Super Schnell Schuco series ran until 1976 when the company declared bankruptcy. The real BMW Turbo was a 1972 concept car, which would pave the way for BMW sports cars of the future. Its design clearly influenced that of the M1, and touches were adopted in the later Z1 and 8 series. It was built as a celebration of the 1972 Summer Olympic Games being held in BMW's hometown, Munich. Paul Bracq designed the car to feature gull-wing doors, and it had safety in mind. It had a foam-filled front and rear section to absorb crash impacts, side impact beams, and a braking distance monitor that utilised radar. Two working examples were built based on a modified 2002 chassis with a mid-mounted engine. As the name suggests, this engine was turbocharged, a 2-litre inline-4 also borrowed from the 2002. It produced 276 horsepower, could reach 62 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds, and was limited to a top speed of 155 miles per hour. Aerodynamics were top priority in Bracq's design. It featured pop-up headlights, rear wheel covers or spats, and a state-of-the-art underfloor design. The Turbo's interior was sculpted around the driver, plus it was the first BMW to feature ABS. The design became a cult hit relatively quickly in terms of the automotive world. 20 years after its inception, it was awarded top prize at the 1992 Concours d'Elegance de Bagatelle in Paris. 1 year later, it featured in an art exhibition at the Kunsthaus Wiesbaden alongside Bracq's paintings and sculptures. Both examples of the Turbo reside with BMW, one at the BMW Museum in Munich and the other at the BMW Center in South Carolina. Neither has ever entered private hands. Well, now that I've sorted that horrible bulge presumably mistakenly cast onto the bonnet, I can show you some of the KALEIDO products, such as the primer they sent over to me to try. In addition, I received this set of 24 colours from their Auto Colors series. Let's take a brief look at the full range. It's split into several categories: primary, mecha, auto and metal, as well as a range of primers, varnishes, thinners and cleaners. Gallery asked me which I'd like to have a go with. Naturally, I went for the auto colours. I'm sure there will be several videos out today, launch day, from other creators who have chosen different sets. This is what comes in this pack: a 60ml cleaner and beneath that a thinner, plus a wide array of gloss, pearl or metallic shades, plenty to keep me entertained. To replicate the shade of the model, I'm choosing to use Magma Orange, quite a dark, rich orange that should serve a good purpose on this little Schuco. Now this was my first go at using a primer via my airbrush. I'm still very new to airbrushing, so I was a bit apprehensive at first. I was concerned it might be a bit too thick for the airbrush, or that it might dry inside the chamber very quickly. Those fears were unfounded. It applied beautifully, even though the same can't be said for my anxious technique. It cleaned up easily too once I was finished with it in my airbrush. It didn't need mixing down with thinner, so it was nice to have it ready to go. I think using an airbrush rather than rattle can primer may be a bit more fiddly, as is the way with airbrushing and the continual cleaning associated with it, but you can be far more precise with your application, plus there's a bonus of shipping being much cheaper than aerosols too. I did get the ratios a bit wrong with my first coat. I added far too much thinner. Despite that, the light coat applied very evenly without running or pooling. You'll see the difference between my first coat and the second application shortly, which I applied after polishing the metal base of the Schuco model. The trouble with these Schuco models are their extremely thin wire axles, which bend far too easily. On the flip side, they also bend back into shape fairly easily too, which I did off camera earlier. The Auto Colors paints are actually based on real manufacturer colours, which I really like and appreciate. The Magma Orange I'm using is equivalent to McLaren's Myra Orange. Other colours include Aston Martin Almond Green, Audi Nardo Grey, BMW's Foyer Orange and Twilight Purple, Ferrari Rosso Corsa, Blue Scotia, Scuderia Rosso, Blue Medio and Prugna, Ford Liquid Blue, Lamborghini Verde Mura, Mazda's RX-7 Orange, Mercedes Green Hell Magno, Mitsubishi Graphite Grey and Cosmos Black, Nissan Brilliant White, Porsche Mint Green, Valiant Green, Baby Blue, Boxster Green and Oak Green, and Subaru's Rally Blue. These are all listed in the leaflet contained within the paint packs. Someone at Gallery really likes green Porsches, that's for sure. You can get an exclusive discount on Kaleido Colorworks paints and Gallery products using the codes listed in the video description and pinned in the comments. There are links to the Amazon store as well as Gallery Direct. I highly recommend these auto colours to anyone out there looking to give some unique shades a try. I'd also be keen to try out the primary colours to do a bit of mixing, and also the metal colours in place of my usual high coat aluminium coat. The final thing I need to do on this BMW Turbo is coat those distinctive Schuco hubs with chrome. Here are the parts that make up the model, simplicity at its finest. I really do like the push-fit nature of these Schuco Super Schnells. They are amazingly secure and aren't easily pried apart, even using tools. They also take some force in putting them back together. I'm just glad it saves me drilling and tapping rivet posts for a change. But with that, this build is complete. Here was how this Schuco BMW Turbo appeared in its not quite red, not quite orange paint shade. A lot of it had chipped away over the years regardless. Additionally, the wire axles had bent at the front and the transparency was quite murky. I chose this model for this trial run of the brand new Kaleido Colorworks paints, opting for Magma Orange to replicate the Schuco's shade. And this is how it now looks. The Kaleido Colorworks paint looks great on this restored model, and it applied beautifully after I had worked out the paint to thinner ratio. If you'd like to receive an exclusive discount on any Kaleido Colorworks paints, any Gallery airbrushes, or any Gallery product for that matter, click the links in the comments or in the video description. This auto colour set is definitely worth a try in my opinion. Stripping back the paint on this model revealed a small blemish on the bonnet, just above the pop-up headlamp, which I had to grind down and redefine the casting lines a little. A refresh of the wheels, a polish of the windscreen, and a wash of the interior has left this Schuco looking good as new. What are your thoughts on it and the BMW Turbo? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one, but all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.